Hey, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Overcrank.
All right, Todd, I have to tell you this now that we're here and we're live. So now my YouTube channel's live. This will go up with you, I guess, maybe tomorrow, however fast you're going to turn this around.
Yes.
Todd, this is the third time this week that I have been live. The amount, the
drama is real.
Just drama to talk about. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So this is the third time. I'm stoked about this. So we've got drama in the pocket camera world again. Shocking.
Again.
Who knew that we would have more drama in the pocket camera world?
This has been the foundation of our channels for the last month.
I didn't think that this was going to be a pillar of my YouTube channel, but it certainly has been stuff that we've enjoyed talking about for the last too long.
Yeah, well, just as an aside, and we can maybe touch on this later on. I don't know if you saw Tony Northrop's most recent video. I'm so happy with this dude. He just released a video where he's like, this Luna is replacing my Sony mirrorless cam for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. Like for what I was like, yes, validation that I'm not just being insane trying to use this for commercial work, because that guy's, it does a lot of work, pretty legit. And I was like,
well, you got Peter McKinnon on your side too. So for whatever that's worth.
But Tony Northrop's was at least not sponsored. It was sponsored by Squarespace.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway,
we've followed all this stuff for so long. I'm so jaded by like what's real and what isn't real.
Sure.
We're both small enough fish that we're not paid by anybody, so that at least makes this more exciting, and I get to dump on whoever we want to complain about. And
fair enough. I've bought all of my equipment, so yeah.
I've bought all of my equipment, but I know you are team Luna.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair too. Like, you're going to be more excited about cameras that you own, that you're working with, that you're finding things for. I'm team nobody. I didn't buy the Luna because I thought that the Luna was kind of overhyped. I was considering the Pocket 4P, except we can't buy that here in the United States. But it's like a moderate step up from the Pocket 3. But now we got drama to talk about, man. The FCC is coming for Extra. And I just dropped a video about it. Like, dude, I barely
minutes ago
slept, man. Have you? Yeah.
Well,
you can barely see this, but anybody that's watched our channels, my channel, is like, this is getting messier and messier back here, because there's like 8 projects that I'm shooting at the moment that I'm like trying to get done. I have a lens review to do. These like Dream Cine lenses are amazing. I need to talk about those. And then freaking Extra, every Friday there's new drama to talk about. So every Friday I'm like, crap, now I got to do another video.
Well, let's do this in an order that, at least, I don't know, maybe we could change it up if you don't like what I'm doing, but I'm like, I kind of want to give the story arc in mind, because I thought I was breaking news on you, because I went to bed last night about 10 and I missed your message to me about, hey, what do you think of this video?
You didn't get that until the morning. Okay.
I didn't even get that.
Anybody that's on live, I sent Todd the intro to my video and I was like, okay, rip it apart. Tell me what I need to fix, because I've got to go live with this. And you were...
I didn't even see it. And so then I started my day with an email from Extra. And so I thought I was going to show, I was like, whoa, it's happening. So I want to talk about that if you don't mind.
Yeah. So you thought you were getting it.
I thought so. Remember, I put my $20 down and reserved it. I was in the reserve, and I thought I was going to do sort of the typical kind of camera reviewer move, where it was like, hey, I'll put it out, and they were offering a discount, and they were saying it was 600 blank. And I'm like, so if it was like $625, and then if I get my $20, it's $605. Like, it's worth the purchase, review, experience, and then if I want to move on. So I was like, I think it was worth the risk for me for my channel. Like, have it hands-on and be objective about reviewing it versus the Luna, be real. So I was like, okay.
You could have fallen in love with that. And legit, the discount was great.
Yeah.
17. I've got, Cliffix here. If you see this on mine, 17 stops of dynamic range is real. It's not a joke. Like, that is everything I've seen. Now, I guess we've seen some on the Muse 2 Pro now. Most of the stuff that I've seen has been from the Pocket 4P, but images look beautiful. Nobody's going to complain about the images.
And I have said all along, even though I'm Team Luna now, I love DJI. I have a ton of their products. I was really looking forward to just continuing down this path, and have been lamenting the situation that we have here in the US. Like I wasn't trying to dump on them. The only thing I think you and I were dumping on was the launch. The way the launch went was really weird. And so that was the part that was really throwing me off. Now,
the launch, by the way, camera season, like this season of camera creators, whatever, like if this was a TV show, this season was freaking wild from everything. I mean, the Luna was weird. You showed up at NAB and it's in this glass box and nobody can touch it. But David Manning's like, look what I've got. But you can't talk about any of the specs, but they like let creators have. That was weird.
Yes.
And then we've got the Pocket 4P DJI. DJI doesn't even show up to NAB. They bring their Ronins and Josh Yo talking about the Ronin 4D. And that's it. And then they're like, we're going to launch it at Cannes, right?
Yeah.
It's a freaking mess. So go ahead.
So then I had the money down, and I got this email from Extra. I'll put it up on the screen on my channel. And it just really, it caught me off guard because we had been talking about this FCC thing. And I was like, ooh, this sounds terrible. And some people on my channel were like, it's like cost of doing business for them, 25 grand. I'm like, it is cheap, except if they don't respond.
Right.
So we're going to get to that.
It's almost more that it's not even that if they don't respond, it's like, it also is just the ball starting.
Yes.
Like the FCC starting to say like, guys, we're paying attention and this does not look as legit as you're trying to make it seem. Yeah.
Well, and so
I do have here just real quick. I can throw this up. Here's if you guys, whoever's on our live, like if you guys have seen this is what Todd got. I literally, because I did a video 2 weeks ago when the FCC did the $25,000 fine. I had people on my TikTok today, Todd, saying, look, they sent me their email. They were like, hey, you were right. Look at what's going on. So they said, so do we want to break this email down? Because there are a couple of things in this email, Todd, that I read, and I was like, oh snap, this is not just going away.
No.
So
I will say, and in their defense, I really did appreciate, and you were right when you messaged me, like, well, legal was probably all over this, but they didn't hold on to everybody's money. Like my PayPal account's already been triggered. Like you're getting a disc, you're getting your down payment back. They were very forthcoming on giving the money back. It was just weird because I didn't know, again, I didn't have the knowledge that you had sent me overnight. And this message of the current early bird program has been paused. Eligible unrefunded early bird orders are being refunded automatically. And I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And I think the first paragraph really says it all to me. It says, after reviewing our product launch readiness, Extra has decided to pause the current early bird program. Because we are unable to confirm a reliable launch timeline at this stage, we do not believe customers' funds should remain on hold. Respect. But like, dude, this isn't even like, this isn't even like November is an option now. Like, remember we were thinking, it's going to be, they were pushing, this is just gone.
Yep. Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, on my first FCC video, I had said, like I had broken or like I had mentioned the X article and the new camera article that said, oh, this is pushed back to Q3. Now it's just gone. Yeah. And that part was weird. But the other speculation that I had when I had done the first video, just kind of tipping off, hey, the FCC is kind of looking into this now, is I was hopeful. but there were a bunch of people saying, I requested to get my money back. I haven't gotten my money back. I'm waiting to get my money back. Like I had comments on that original FCC video that said, dude, it's been 30 days. I still haven't had my money back. So the fact that they came and like are proactively doing this, at least, that is great. That's really good.
Yeah. What else did you see in that email that you thought? I also thought this other thing about some discount code to buy extra products.
Let's hit on that too, because that's crazy. I'll pull up the email back up so anybody that is like, following along can check this out with us. But also, Cliffix is saying that the U.S. ban has nothing to do with their consumer goods. Like I completely agree with you, and it's honestly a weird. It's not a ban. I've been corrected on this too. Like my head has to wrap around this. It's the FCC covered list, which is literally just like Bluetooth and wireless communication. So this is the way they're banning products without just flat out saying there's a ban. And it is also, I got corrected. It's supposed to be the CPC, not the CCP. I don't know, man. I try and respond to comments, and sometimes I'm like, what am I doing on my Saturday? But it is the ownership. When I was doing my first kind of research for the first video, it is a little scary when you start looking at how much ownership stake is like publicly known with the Chinese government in these private companies. And that was the other crazy thing too, is where I think there's a little bit of a difference is Insta360, although it is also a Chinese company, and it could easily end up here in a year. Todd, we could be talking about this for a year.
I know.
But Insta360 is owned by Arashi Global. Fact check me, chat. Tell me if I'm right on that one. That's a publicly traded company, though.
That's different.
DJI, privately held, so they are required to submit a lot less information, which is, I think, also kind of the scary part about this. This
is something that I've actually been wanting to do a video on. So we're just going to talk about it here right now. Yeah, because I've had people kind of push back on my channel of like, well, the Chinese government having a 15% stake in that company is sort of minimizing the amount of R&D and research and product development that they've done as a company. And I say, well, okay, but wait, let's look at this from another perspective. Everybody in the US is sort of raising their eyebrows at all of this happening because Eric Trump wants to have a drone company.
Right.
And we're all going, whew, that's weird. But if I have a stake in the government or have a way to control the government and then put my money in over here, it's not just the 15%. And so my argument is that if the Chinese government is a stakeholder, what I understand, a 15% owner of DJI.
Yeah, I think it's a minimum of 15%. I don't know how much it is because they're a private company, but it's more than 15%.
Well, here's my thing. If I'm over here as Mr. whatever the government structure is there, I'm the government man, and I'm like, well, we could make more money if their product does better. Hey, Mr. DJI, would you like some of our spyware tech that we're using over here in the military machine? We'll happily let you use that at no cost to you, since we're going to make money back on that product. Sure. So that R&D can get ramped up real fast when you have a government that powerful and that invested in spyware and tech going like, we will financially benefit from their success. Why would we not give them all sorts of advantages, in the space? And as we have all said, they are the greatest drones at the consumer level. I can't think of anything else in that space. The other part of this that's vexing, for lack of a better term, when you say it's this consumer goods are different. Yes, but unfortunately, they've put all of this tech in all of those goods. I can't think of what's not going to be included in this. It's not just going to be drones. It's kind of their product line. And that's the problem, and it goes back to, and I've talked about this before, that whole Pokemon Go thing, that Pokemon Go, they finally came clean. We're like, yep, we kind of mapped the whole world for free. Thank you, everybody. And
brilliant.
It was brilliant. And you think about it too, like they could decide where to put the Pokemon so they could get more people there with cameras. Like, you're like, wow. Yeah. So I get what's going on here.
You clearly... mean it wasn't just naturally spawning a Charizard at the San Francisco bridge? What?
I speculate no.
Oh my gosh.
But that's me with my tinfoil hat again.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like to your point though, too, they can develop whatever they want, but it's also, roles reversed here.
Yeah.
A Palantir or a highly integrated military complex in the United States, and China absolutely would say, we don't want that in the, like, they don't sell American cars in China. Right. They don't have to. So like, I get it. I don't want to necessarily put on my tinfoil hat, but I get it. We have, the interesting thing is that it all is going through the FCC.
Yeah.
And it is, so when we talk about this specifically to Xtra and what's kind of broken today with the email that went out to everybody, the FCC filing a petition now against Xtra Technologies, part of me hates it because it just hurts us as filmmakers, as creators.
Absolutely.
It is solely focused on anybody who wants to own a camera. Yeah. That's it. That's who it's significantly impacting on these particular bans or, FCC restrictions. That's who it's hurting. The other part of me made a video 2 months ago when DJI decided to sue Insta360 over absurd stuff. And I was like, guys, this is going to be bad. This is going to come back and bite you, because if you come into the US and you start filing lawsuits on patents in Texas, you're going to make people even more so go, oh, what about that guy? What about Xtra? They look exactly the same. And
100.
So part of me is like, oh, you got it. Like I called that a month ago because that was just a weird move by DJI. Well, like, why draw more attention to yourself?
And that had been happening, I think, for a period of time, even before you and I met. I didn't know how long the Extra Muse was actually around, but there were a number of creators I had seen, because I was full on Pocket 3. I'm like, I'm all in. Yeah. I love Pocket 3, and there were these people who were like, oh, look at this. It's just like the Pocket 3, but it's like $150 cheaper. And then, so they were buying it, and they were doing side-by-side comparisons on their channels. And it was like,
exactly the same.
How is this legal? And you start going like, there's no way this isn't DJI.
Yeah.
It's
Todd,
just
you're
like,
getting some shout outs in the chat, man.
Uh-oh.
I love it. From Germany, man. Yes, Todd's in the house. We love it every time. This is like kind of an overcrank episode from Todd's channel. It's not really a Creative Lens episode because Jake's not here. So it's just kind of like us hanging out. So we're glad you're here, man. Thank you from Germany. Do you see what Brian said? So Brian just got the Pocket 4P on eBay. He's got the Luna. He's like your best friend because they're both equally awesome. He's not dunking on anybody. But am I planning on buying the Pocket 4P? Brian, I would answer you no. As much as I love the image quality, when Todd and I did our last video together about this, I was talking about there are enough. Mine's fine. I have the Pocket 3, but there are enough people that have issues with the screen or the gimbal not working, eventually failing. The screen can break, like that. The spring that actually flips the screen out can break. And especially if you're doing gray market stuff, you're going to eBay or you're going to Canada, like that's part of this FCC ruling is they don't get to take your camera from you if you have a camera. Now, if you go to Canada and you buy 50 of them and you stuff them in your carry-on and you try and come back over and it looks like you're going to, make a little business selling these things, then customs will stop you, but nobody's going to take your camera. The problem though is if you have a US address, DJI will not, like, you don't get a warranty. They won't service anything. So I don't trust it for me, Brian, enough because I beat my stuff up. Like I need a warranty. I need insurance on it. I need something that's going to say, if I throw this in the bag and the screen breaks or the lens cracks or whatever, somebody's going to at least fix it. What about you though? Would you, because I know you put your $20 on, would you get one of these?
Well, I'm going to say one thing first to my friend in Germany. I go by Todd V because nobody in this country can say my last name because it's Volkma, and my family comes from Baden-Baden. So it's nice to see you, Germany.
Yes.
Anyway.
See, Todd, by the way, anybody that's here from Todd's channel or has followed both of us, tell Todd to go live more often because this is the fun part.
I like to curate my content a little bit. I don't know. That's how I do. But yes,
I know. We love your content, Todd.
Well, thank you.
To be live.
Thank you. I have also, I'm going to answer your question with a little bit of one of your one of your sayings that I love. You don't buy a camera for what you hope it will be. You buy the camera for what it is today. Now, that being said, Luna keeps stepping up.
Yeah.
That 2.0, I don't know if it's 2.0, the new firmware update kind of has made this a dream camera now, because now we have the Rec 709 overlay, so I can see my exposures and everything. They're smoothing out still the zoom rocker even more. Like if they could get it to where it was webcam, because I don't think that's in there yet. I think that's the only thing that's missing. So that being said,
webcam? I'm like,
you can't run it as a webcam yet. Not that I know of. I haven't been able to make that work. Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe you guys hit me in the comments. Maybe I'm missing something, or it's a setting I've missed, but I haven't been able to. When I plug it in, it's just not an option. So anyway, I don't see an upside to gray marketing this thing, because this is not a chump change amount of money. We're getting to we're getting to entry level camera territory, an A6700 territory.
Which we talked about on our last debate. If you guys haven't watched that, go watch that video. That was fun.
That was fun. And so you're getting into that territory where I have a solid what do you want to call a name brand Sony, and I have warranty, and I have all sorts of stuff that's available to work with that camera, versus a neat camera that I have no support on, no warranty, and questionable aftermarket products. Now I say that, and that's probably not true, because any of those companies like Newer or Telesin or KNF, they make very good aftermarket products for these cameras, and they probably won't have any trouble making them and selling them, because they're just batteries and lenses and bags and such. So that may be not a fair argument, but just not having support and warranty service, or not even firmware updates, I don't think. You probably would have to go through a VPN or something, even for a firmware update, which was now getting weird. Like, I don't want to hack my camera. I just want it to work, and that was one of the things that was great about the Pocket 3. And out of the box, you could just go and shoot. The Luna did the same thing for me. I was here at the radio station. I'm not at my studio today because this breaking news happened, and I didn't have time I'm mid projects all day, and I was like, Colton, I'm going to be remote today for this because I really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But
I'm like neck deep in my video editing, going, Todd, I have to get this out because this is breaking news. And Todd's texting me going, let's do a live. We got to talk about this. So we're here for you guys, and we're
exactly
here to talk about it.
So the Luna that did the same thing. I came here to the station. I literally unpacked it and plugged it in. I think an hour before the musician went live here in studio, and then I broke it out and recorded an hour session flawlessly. And I was like, good Lord, this camera is really cool. That was just my first time using it. So that's what I want. And I don't want to have to work, but with the Luna, I know I've got warranty service, and I can send it back, and all these things that I can count on. That, boy, you do this gray market thing and you're in trouble. It's not worth it to me. I was really looking forward to picking one up. And in fact, I'm talking with Sophie on Monday morning about it, because I messaged her, and she's like, boy, I feel lucky that I actually have one that was sent to me. And I'm like, yes, you should, because you're the only one probably in your area that's going to have one.
Yeah. I'm interested too. You got to ask Sophie, because I remember last time you had her on, I was on as well. She sent it back. And I know when I was talking to
she sent it to a friend.
Oh, she had to send, but like they've been moving the cameras around. So I don't know. Does she get to keep this one? Which would be nice, because it might be a collector's item fairly soon.
That's right. Yeah. From what I understand, she gets to keep it. She had a friend was using it or something, and she's having it.
Got it.
And
the other
back in her hands now.
thing in terms of buying the two, and you guys that have both can chime in here. Do you need both though? I mean, I get that too. Like Todd, you've already found so many uses for the Luna that like 17 stops of dynamic range is pretty cool. That lo-fi chip that like, okay, that's cool. We've kind of pointed out the issues with it though, that you only get it on one lens. There's some funkiness to it. It's still a great sensor. And like the last time you were on our Creative Lens show, I was kind of touting. I was saying, look, if you know how to use this, it's great. But if you already have a Luna, it's a gimbal camera. You have 8K on it. You have 14 stops, so it's not quite as good maybe as the Pocket 4P or the Muse, but isn't 14 stops. Like the Red One was 10 stops of dynamic range, and they shot a lot of films on that. So 14 is pretty great still. So I know. That's the hard part, is I don't see a huge jump.
And that's been sort of the funny thing to me, is people just kind of like, once that 17 was announced, it's like, oh, 14, yesterday's news. But like, it's a really great camera, and the highlights and the shadows are fantastic, and you can work with them. And it's like, it's doing everything I need it to do. Yeah. I would rather have two of them as opposed to two different camera systems, because now you can 100%. Do some interesting stuff, podcasting, live event capture,
put it on your slider, and then you have that camera shot.
Dude,
again.
That slider is so sick.
You guys haven't seen that video from Todd. He just posted it yesterday. Go watch Todd's video. That was sick, man.
The Pico slider is such a game changer. If like you're a one-man band, just to have this extra little production.
It was this one. He said, Diego says, it's great for photography too. Yeah, I mean, dude, I've seen so many good photos. It's a great camera. We were talking about this yesterday. If you guys joined us yesterday with Jake and I, it was like, this is camera Endgame territory. Like, every camera you buy is phenomenal. Now it's what story are you going to tell with it? Because they're all great. I took a picture last night with my iPhone, and it was great. Like people were like, "Oh, what camera did you shoot that?" This is my iPhone. You just get good light, and like they're all good cameras. I cannot complain about that. It's just down to like, I guess, company support at this point. Who can actually say you're launching it and then actually show up?
Well, and I enjoyed your argument that you had with Jacob, or you have argument discussion, because that's true. Like the cameras, we are at a place of like, what more do you need? Right. Like with beautiful image, lots of color information. What more do you need? And I have been touting for some time now, and you know this, that like, I really think for smaller businesses like mine, where I'm just like a one-man band most of the time, we do larger productions and I'll bring a crew in. But for most of my customers, it's just me and maybe one other guy. The easier it is for me to get my setup in and do my job, if the product is still good, I believe these cameras could be the future of production. And as we talked about, the Ronin 4D was an incredible camera, and I think sort of the grandfather to these cameras. That Ronin 4D, was it a Ronin? It was called the Ronin, right? Yeah.
Ronin. Yeah, the Ronin 4D. We talked about it on the last big debate that we had.
And I think because I was a little bit of a hater on that camera when it came out, because I was like,
it was just so expensive.
Well, and I was still of the like, look, they're a drone company. I can only use their lenses. I don't know. I want to be able to use Canon glass or Sony glass. And I was in that sort of snob mode. Yeah. And that camera kind of bit me in the butt, because I lost a customer who bought that one. And I was like, that camera's really, really good. And so once I started getting into these pocket cameras, I'm like, oh, this is the next generation of that, because I'm picturing 2-3 years from now what this might be doing with computational photography and a lo-fi chip and better lenses. Like, you're like, what? I think we're just at the ground floor of this thing. These aren't the top game.
But I mean, I will say, I'm just always going to compare this camera to cell phones, because that's the jump, and they're good. I'm not dumping on them, but that lo-fi chip Sony developed for their Lydia cell phone chip. It's a cell phone chip. So the iPhone, you look at like the original iPhone, those were great pictures. And where it is now, you look at what other Samsung's doing, Huawei's doing. Like you look at these, they're all getting really, really good. So I agree. Yeah. It's just going to keep getting better. I'm still the old school. I guess I don't necessarily put this in the cinema lane. But I do. Yet. I would be excited about. But here, Dago. I'm assuming it's Dago. I'm sorry if I'm like crushing your name, man. I really apologize. But he said that he usually will shoot weddings with this Canon. What Canon, man? Because you'll make Jake happy because Jake's a Canon fanboy. But like getting to travel with it, I totally agree with that. When you have to be nimble, light, I would assume, dude, too, if you shoot music videos, like being able to move around with nothing. The other thing that I learned, here's another benefit to these things, is you check out the Mic Pro too. Yeah, you've got the Mic Pro, right? Yeah. I don't like it, but I know you like it.
Well, it's getting more and more. Tony Northrop loves it. He was a big fan.
You can EQ it. Like it's sounding better than it did at launch. So I get that. R6 Mark III, that is exactly Jake's camera. So you guys are buddies on that one. I have not gotten to shoot a Canon realistically for like 10 years. But what I was saying is, when I lived in LA, like permitting and filming there is next to impossible. So the fact that you can go out and get 8K, you can get really nice looking 4K stuff if you are in a place that you need to be a little more inconspicuous.
Yeah.
It's great. And you don't have to worry about getting a permit and all that stuff.
Speaking of which, wasn't it Sophie who said, I don't know if it was on our channel, who said that she didn't know it was illegal to run cameras inside the casinos in Vegas? Yeah. And so she was just walking around shooting on that. No one stopped her. The minute she broke out her phone, security came and stopped her. No one even recognized that, like, what she said, that she was even using a camera. She was like, I didn't know that was illegal. Oops.
Yeah.
So the inconspicuous, the lightweight features of it, some of the tech that's in it, like I've gone on about the tracking, like it has made, we've talked about it. Like when you try to do those orbiting tracking shots, sometimes it's very hard with a steady cam.
Huge advantage.
To be able to do that and get, and again, they're small enough that you can do like probe lens work, and you don't have to have a gazillion lights to light up the like probe lenses are cool, but like, oh my God, you need like a 5K to light it properly.
F11. Some of those DZOs. You need a lot of light.
You need a lot of light. We did a commercial for a grocery store, and we thought, oh, this will be cool. And I was like, every light we had in our cars were over this plate of nachos just to get a picture. I'm like, good Lord. So like, it was insane. But like with these, you're just like, you mix it with that slider, and it's like, I got a probe lens, and it's in my pocket. It's fantastic.
Right, Here's the only problem, Todd. Every time we get together, we just talk all the love about.
I know. Come at me.
But I'm not coming at you. I just saying we got drama that we're talking about today. So I'm going to circle back to your email that you got, and here was my other problem. Yeah. So yay, I think chat let me know too. Yay that they're being proactive about sending you your money back.
Yeah.
Not great that they have no clue when they're going to launch this, but I assume part of this is like, we see the train coming down the tracks and it has a big FCC logo on it, and we're just pumping the brakes on this stuff. Yeah. So I get that. They don't want to be stuck in a lawsuit either of people that are trying to get their money back. So that's good on them. But here's the other thing that they said in your email that I was like, interesting, because that's a line in my video.
Yeah.
That is, they're giving you a one-time use 10% off code. I'm going, dude, that's great. If it's $699 for the Muse 2 Pro, if it's $699, you just got more of a discount to get your camera when they launch it, right?
Oh, no, it's only good for 30 days.
But, right. Well, and also in that email, it says only good on what is currently being offered on the official Extra website.
Yeah.
So what I had said, one of the claims or one of the kind of points that I had brought up in this new video is that, so timeline wise, so everybody kind of gets at least what I think to be the timeline, and anybody can correct me because I think we started one of these, like, I am not a lawyer. I'm not a patent lawyer. I'm not like, I don't work for the FCC, believe it or not. So I'm just kind of researching and learning with you guys. But the FCC has filed on July 17th. So Extra had until July 20th to respond to the original FCC questioning about just where's this technology coming from. They didn't respond. And on the 17th, they opened a public hearing. So you can go comment right now on the FCC's website. You can go pull this up, and they filed it on the 17th. You've got 30 days to go right into the FCC. Whether you think the FCC is going to listen to you or not, that's up to you. But you have 30 days to file your public hearing, your public statement with the FCC as to why Extra should be allowed to continue, Extra shouldn't be allowed to continue, whatever. So they've got 30 days. After that, they can move forward to ban the product. And so all of that inventory overnight can be illegal to sell if the FCC moves forward with that. So that's a little scary. You know, that's why, to me, that's why that proves what I had said, which is like when Extra's saying, hey, we'll give you 10% off right now, just please go buy something. They're seeing that as a problem too. And they're going to be holding the bag on a lot of cameras that, where do they go?
Yeah, because I guess one would wonder on that front, in other countries, is Muse even really a player? Like, I feel like Muse was invented to be to circumnavigate this issue in the United States primarily, because otherwise, why would DJI cannibalize itself in other parts of the world? DJI is going to want all the sales. So I'm curious. Yeah, that's a real problem for Muse in particular, because I don't know, and I could be just talking, but I don't think DJI would have any reason to sell their products in other parts of the world. What's the upside?
Yeah. I mean, can you retool it in some way? But they're like plastic stamped on. So I watch them pop up somewhere else as another way to sell something, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, man. It would be, you guys, if anybody's in here from somewhere else, like Dago, if you're from Germany, I'm assuming is Extra even a thing? Because I agree with you. I think Extra just kind of popped up to help get around some of the tariffs and regulations from DJI. So I don't know.
I'm curious too, though. I think some of this might just be 2 years and then it's kind of over drama, because I don't know. We have no way of knowing who the next president of the United States will be, but I don't imagine whomever it is going to be quite as aggressive as the current president. So I just don't know. Like, this is a weird time we're in. He's been very anti-China all along. So it's
the only thing I would say on that, and I can agree without making, this is about cameras. Yeah. But this is not the president banning technically anything. This is a power that the FCC. Who gets a promotion and then a year later gives the promotion back is kind of what I look at. It's like, the FCC gets new powers.
True.
Does the FCC, doesn't matter who, there's still a bureaucracy that kind of runs on lots of things that, Todd, neither of us are aware of.
I'm clearly not a geopolitical strategist. I just feel like this whole thing just felt very targeted from the beginning. And so it immediately just had earmarks to me where you're like, I feel like there's self-serving is what's happening. But you make a good point. The FCC would still be. Yeah.
They still have the power. And this was kind of the weird thing, is that the FCC in 2025 in October gave themselves the power to go back and retroactively pull registrations. That's why this is happening, and why it's a little scary for like the Extra Muse, which was already cleared.
Yeah.
But the FCC can go back, and they did it on the 16th, right before they came after Extra. They pulled a couple of other Chinese clearances, and it was like Huawei, which I think was already kind of banned on the cover list anyway, but they went and pulled old models off as well. So now, they couldn't even sell their old models. So that's just,
Huh.
if you're and maybe it changes with more regulatory scrutiny. I don't know. We'll see. Would totally love to see DJI drones back. And I think who was saying, was it Dago? Yeah. I mean, Dago was saying like, rather go with DJI than the shadow company. I like that. They should honestly, they should lean in. Extra does so much dang marketing. They should lean into the shadow company. But you know, that might be more fun actually. But if I was going to pick one though, I agree with you. Like I would rather get an eBay DJI or a Canadian DJI because I know those products work well and last. And I just fear that Extra was kind of thrown together. Even their manufacturing was just kind of thrown together to get around some of this stuff to make sure they could keep selling.
Yeah,
but
totally. Yeah. Well, so what do you think about the other 7 companies that were listed on that FCC list? Has there been any?
So they added another one. So there's technically 9 now that they are looking. They've filed these public hearings for. So there's 9. One is XAG, which I'd never heard of before. It's another Chinese company, but they do like agricultural drones.
Okay. Not
in my market, but they're going after them as well. I don't really know. I've never bought a Sky Rover drone. I'm like still rocking my DJI Mini 3 Pro. Love that camera. It does enough for me. It's great. I'm not an amazing drone pilot. I have the Mavic 2. That's enough. That's enough for me. So I haven't bought a drone for a while. So the other 2 companies that were on that list are tied to Sky Rover. So that would be the other one that anybody who's really enjoying the Sky Rover line the same way, you know, we may be looking at the Extra line. If you're trying to buy a DJI drone, I think those Sky Rovers are very similar. So those are on the chopping block as well.
Well, that's another sad development, or what do you want to call collateral damage out of this? Because when the American farmer in particular, boy, those people work about as hard as you can, and they have to you know, squeeze 2 nickels to try to make a dime, and to not be able to get a reasonably priced drone for agriculture when they need this as part of their livelihood. You're like, oh, like, because they're the same boat we're in. Like, so what's going to be my option? Like nothing, or a $15,000 drone? Like that's not an option for me. You know,
that's the hard part, is you just really wreck competition. And that's where it hurts. I mean, I'm looking at it through a creative lens. Selfishly, I want to be able to buy these drones and pocket cameras. I want somebody putting their thumb on the pressure point of Insta360 to not be selling this thing for $800. I would like to pick one of these, you know, the Luna's up. Yeah. Not for $800. Like $600 is, I guess, a decent price for that, but it's still expensive. So I want more competition. I think that's the hardest part about this, is that we're losing so much of that competition.
That's the scary part of that too. Cause I guess I was thinking too, just back to the drones, like, was it 10, 15 years ago? We were all like, man, this is great. You used to have to pay someone to fly a helicopter for an afternoon to get these shots. And now I can do this on my little production and add that. We're right back to, man, it's cool. That guy has a drone, but he has to charge me a fortune now because he has a $15,000 drone and whatever else to support it. So it's just right back to a helicopter guy, maybe a little less expensive. So yeah, that's it's problematic for a lot of things from a creator perspective.
Yeah. I was also one of those guys hanging out of a helicopter stupidly when I probably shouldn't have been. But we were doing an aerial, and we did that. We rented out a helicopter pilot for the day and did like aerial sweeps of this. We were doing an advertisement for a new city development. Had to do aerial sweeps with a helicopter. So I fully agree with you. That's the hard part.
that was something I was really, it was one of my favorite parts about working at NASA was like we had all these assets, you know, and there was this, I wanted to do a documentary on the Apollo 1 disaster. And you can't fly a drone, of course, over NASA and down at Cape Canaveral. Like, that's not happening. But they have their own helicopter team. And I'm like, so can we, like, I'll get in the helicopter with you guys and we're going to do like an apocalypse now, like strafing along the beach and just get a shot of that. And they're all like, yeah, I think that'd be cool. Like, I was really close to selling this thing. And then I was like, oh, I lost my job at NASA. It's probably because I was going to spend too much. I really wanted to do it. In fact, there was one other time, the same thing that here in Cleveland, I was like, we were in the hangar and I was like, wait, you guys are pilots of experimental planes? I was like, you know, I'd love to do some flyovers of the center. And they're like, yeah, set us up. Let us know. I was like, I can't believe I lost that job.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that. That was going to be fun. But anyway, yeah. I digress.
Well, that's our thing. That's at least our shtick, Todd, is that we have something to stick to, and we have squirrel brained our way through.
I absolutely have a squirrel brain
story of this, but I think we've dug through it.
Yeah, I do too.
Of, you know, covering what, and I don't know if you want to leave us with anything else, because I don't want to. So it's kind of your time to kind of share your thoughts. My thoughts are in that video. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch that. Give me a thumbs up on that YouTube video, because it took me too damn long to edit that thing. I was up all night trying to get that thing done.
You guys got to give Colton some love.
And then Extra, I'm like finishing editing it. Eyes are bloodshot. And then Extra emails everybody out today when I'm like done with the video. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are crazy. There's a new thing happening every day with you guys. God, I can't keep up.
Yeah, you guys really need to give Colton some love. He puts together some really good productions on his stuff. I'm all about like, let's get this information out. I don't, you know, and Colton like really hones his craft and makes a beautiful video. So give him some love over there and some thumbs up for sure. I love what you're putting together, Colton. As sort of a wrap up for me, it would be just that I'm a little bit heartbroken, really, that we're here, because this really sounds like the death knell for any competition to Insta. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about Insta, but to your point, boy, if they're the only player, these cameras could be $900 next year. They could be, you know, that price could jump with that latest upgrade. And so that's heartbreaking. I love DJI products. And so I'm going to hold on to all the ones I have and run them till into the ground, because they do a great job and I have nothing to complain about with them. And so there's that. The upside is, and I've said this a bunch of times, the Luna is groundbreaking. It is doing some really neat stuff. And I think it might trigger other people to enter the game, maybe Canon that we've talked about. Like, there's a potential couple people who are going like, these are successful cameras and we'd like to get a piece of that pie. So I'm hoping more potential innovation happens. I just hope it stays more in that nice little price pocket where DJI lived. Because honestly, though, a lot of people have argued this, and they think the argument is valid. Because of the manufacturing capacity in China, the subsidy of the Chinese government, that's probably why the pricing where it is. These cameras should probably cost more than they do. And they're, because, you know, these cost $1,500 now, right? Like, I mean, so the fact that this is half of that, with a detachable screen and multiple microphones and more lenses, and like, you're like, yeah, that's probably impossible what they're doing for another country to compete with that, because that pricing is just, I think, Colton, you're just going to have to, you know, break out your wallet. Come on, you cheapskate. You got a $5,000 camera you're looking at. You could spend $800.
Okay. Yes. And we will button it here, because we covered this yesterday, and I will continue to force myself, for my credit card's sake, only buy the equipment that you have the work for.
Yeah.
And I'm bad at that. Especially, dude, we just covered the FX5 twice in 1 week. Jake was up at 6:30 Pacific time, live streaming the FX5. And then we did basically an hour and a half podcast yesterday. just talking about the FX5. My credit card has jumped itself out of my wallet like 9 times, just trying to get away from, you know, the B&H site that's just stayed on my computer. But that's honestly my struggle is less like I've been crawling away from prosumer. It doesn't excite me nearly as much as the Red Raptor or the Komodo X
Fair
or
enough.
the Pixis 12K, or like, I mean, eventually I will finish the review I have on these, like a solid set of cine anamorphics.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to say no to the prosumer. As cool as it is, I just have enough cameras. If I need to do a 3-camera podcast setup, I have that. I don't need a Luna for that. What I'm excited for, like you said, there are a couple of things that are going to get me back into this space. One would be true turn the camera vertical. I think that would be a huge innovation for whoever can get there first, just because, as we've talked it to death, but you have multi-format deliveries. You know, I was admittedly in the camp 10 years ago of like, vertical's not a thing. It's stupid. We're not going to be shooting content in vertical. No, we absolutely are.
Yeah.
TikTok has been pushing now. I don't know if you saw this. This came out like today. I think they're starting a whole new kind of short series on TikTok that are like professional, like think Netflix level series, but cut down to like 3-4 minutes and vertically on TikTok. So that's happening. So to have that would be amazing. To have I don't need the $600 price point, but like we talked on the last, I guess, our camera debate, if you can get me to like 1,500, 2,500, get a competitor to the Ronin 4D that's a little bit less, an FX30 style APS-C. I can swap lenses out, put an L mount on. L mount would be perfect. There's so many lenses for L mount. You can adapt it. Like Blackmagic.
Yeah.
They don't do gimbals, but Blackmagic, you're the perfect company to give me something like that. That would get me excited in this space again.
Okay.
I don't know. They're very cool. I'm super impressed with what you've been able to create. I've got the FX3. Like if I'm going to go out and shoot 17 stops, I'm not going to get 17 stops on my FX3. I'll get 14, but I have the FX3 and the ZR. So if I want insanely large red code files, like if I really want to burn through a hard drive, cool, I got it. And I like it. So that's where I'm at. I'm a huge advocate. Anybody that's listening, Todd, you too, just buy the gear that you need to do the work that you're doing. And then buy the gear that for the work that you want to be doing, or like Jake was saying yesterday, which I fully agree with, rent the gear that you want to be, like manifest that rather than just buying it because the marketing's so darn good. That's my 10 cents. But to your point, you've actually taken this thing out, professionally worked with it. Like you have clients that you are shooting with. So you are proving the model.
Yeah, Mike, and the clients, it goes, because, and I'll just wrap it with this, that it's always about the end product, right? Just yesterday, I was like, here's the sample of what because it's a new client I'm working with. And I'm like, this is what I was thinking about for your videos for your website. And they're like, this is awesome. They're like, this has got my brain turning about all the things we could do with this. And I'm like, yeah, it's just with this little baby camera.
Yeah.
it's just, if you still have to apply cinematography to the deal, the lighting and the composition and all that. So it's not taking away from that. It's just a better tool for me. So that's what I love. Yeah.
Better tool. And you said it too, lighter. Like there's so many advantages. I'm not knocking the purchase of it. Just, I know, I even know younger me has spent way more money than I need to on stuff I don't need because I think it's going to make me better. And that's just my theory, my going theory to keep the credit card in the wallet and not on B&H.
And to not be sleeping on the couch. I totally get it.
Exactly. Yeah. You got to keep the fiance happy.
That's right.
Subscribe here if you haven't.
Check out
let me give me some comments on what you think that FCC video, if you think we're keeping it or not, the Extra Muse. We'll see.
Yep.
All right, guys. Till the next one. Peace.
See ya. All right.
Did you want to do I'm closing this one out. Did you want to do a sign out on yours, man?
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
Well, Jake, thanks for joining me today. This is, I know this is one we kind of just jumped on and had to get to, but I really wanted to get to it. This was sort of breaking news stuff, and it's tied directly to what we've been talking about. So thanks for joining me, man.
Do you want to do one where you call me Colden? I don't mind being Jake.
You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do one where I call you by your proper name.
If you could AI Jake's face onto me, just like slowly through the conversation, you can have him.
No, but I may save that part where you just you want to call me Colin now. So here we go. Well, Colin.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take a beat on this one.
Yeah. Sorry about that, brother.
Hey, no worries.
Well, Colin, thanks again for joining me. I know we kind of had to jump into this. This is something that was sort of breaking news, but it was tied directly to everything that we've been talking about for like a month now, I think. Yeah. So I felt necessary to at least get this in the can so we could share it with our viewers. So thanks again for watching it or joining me today.
100%. Thanks, Todd.
We'll see you soon. Bye. All right. Now I'll cut it. Jacolden.